Joining me today on this episode of Side Hustle Growth Podcast is Akemi-Joi. She is a licensed clinician and life coach, and we are going to be having a very important conversation around overcoming fear and anxiety on your side hustle journey. But before we get into it, I have to give Akemi a moment to shine. Tell us more about yourself, anything you'd like us to know. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and take it away. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be here. So I am, yes, Akemi-Joi, and I am your personal pocket-sized life coach for women. I am a personal cheerleader, a confidant, and a virtual BFF to the women who I serve. So women see me when they're struggling with anxiety, trying to find their purpose, or just feeling stuck in life. So what do I do? I love to say that I sprinkle a little bit of sunshine and sparkle in this journey that we call life.
Life.
So I am also a licensed clinician for the past 17 years. So I help women heal and tap into their inner superhero. But my absolutely favorite role is I am a mom extraordinaire. So what is that? I am a mom of four, and my oldest is in college, and my youngest is in kindergarten. So
Okay.
my superpower is helping moms who are feeling stuck and overwhelmed, tired and frustrated, just find joy and pleasure on this thing that we call life.
Okay. Okay. Mom extraordinaire. Wow. Yeah. So you're busy. Just some I know with I myself am not a mom. I'm a dog mom, but not of humans. But I know usually if they're off to college, you're thinking about I think empty nesters, but you still have quite a ways to go. I like it's all spread out.
Yes.
That's kind of like how I grew up too. That's how my siblings and I. There was a huge gap for us too. So
Yes.
we kept our mom busy. We kept our parents busy. Anyway, I'm rambling on. So you said as a licensed clinician, you sprinkle sunshine and sparkles and just from knowing you, and I was doing this and I was nodding and I'm like, yes, because since we have connected and since I have been able to engage with you, your content, how you show up online, I will have to agree. That's exactly what you do. One of the questions I do like to ask, you said that you're a licensed clinician
Yes.
and life coach. So you're a side hustler.
Yes.
Welcome to the party. I love it. I love it. So
Yes.
tell me about since we will be talking about overcoming fear and anxiety on your side hustle journey, what has your side hustle journey been like so far?
So for the last 17 years, like I said, I've been a clinician. You know, I am an LCSW in the state of Georgia, and I've been doing that for the past, 17 years.
Mhm,
So over the years, my niche has, evolved, and I've met a lot of women. And what I found is that I love coaching. Not to say that I don't like therapy, because it's healing and
mhm,
I help people with trauma and different things, but my niche has just kind of shifted over more into life coaching. And of course, it kind of fell along my own personal journey and just transitioning from, when I say my own personal journey, transitioning through the different phases of my life, becoming a mom, being a single mom, then getting married, and then feeling stuck and overwhelmed and all of that. So that kind of was the transition into the side hustle, which is my life coaching business that I'm really working on. So I do therapy full time, but then on the side, I love working with a group of women on just living their best lives, finding their
mhm.
purpose, and helping women walk into the place that they desire to be without feeling stuck or
Mhm.
overwhelmed, or kind of balancing the juggling act of life. So, yeah.
And I love that you mentioned that you niched down, you found your niche. And a couple episodes ago, I did talk about nailing your niche,
Yeah.
especially in your side hustle journey. So, with your experience as a clinician and now identifying who you
Mhm.
want to serve as a life coach, what was the experience like? Just being able to say, this group of women specifically is who I want to serve in my coaching business. What was it like to figure out your niche?
it was scary. it
Ha ha
was
ha ha.
it was a lot of me questioning myself, and that's another reason why I got into this, again, my own personal story, doubting myself. Oh,
Mm,
I'm not smart enough. Oh, I don't have enough experience. Oh, all the negative thoughts that come up. So when I found that niche, or I found my group of people, it was scary because I started having those doubts myself. But once I worked through those doubts and realized, like, wow, this is the place that I flourish. These are the people who, they leave me raving reviews saying, oh my gosh, Kimi, you helped me change my life. And then I had to get comfortable in knowing that these were my women, these are my people. This is kind of where, in this phase of my life, I'm transitioning more into full time. So ultimately, full time, I would love to be, but
mhm,
right now it's just kind of my side hustle, like I said. But ultimately, the goal is to shift, because we always shift in life, right? We're not staying the same person all the, throughout our whole lives. We're shifting into new people. So as I shift into this chapter of my life, I am so excited to just be working with professional women, over, a lot of times they're over 30, who just feeling
mhm.
stuck and just need that extra, and that brings me so much joy when I do that. Like, so
Yeah.
much joy.
I can feel
So,
it. It's
yes.
palpable. It's palpable, the joy. And that's your name,
Yeah.
Akemi-Joi. Full circle moment. So I wanted to, you mentioned that women who feel stuck, women over 30 who feel stuck. And that is
Mhm.
a term we hear a lot, feeling stuck. For you, what does it mean? Like, how does a woman identify, I'm stuck? What does that mean? What does stuck mean in your world?
Yeah, for me, I had the things, right? I had the house, the children, the car, the relationship, the friends. I had everything, but I just felt
Mm,
something is missing. Something is not there. And then I should be happy. I should be at this phase of my life. I should do all the things. So, stuck is women who are just struggling to get to that next step. There's something missing, but not knowing what that thing is. So, that's what it looked like for me, just not knowing what it is to where I felt most happiest and most fulfilled. So that's what that stuck, feeling looked like for me. But I work with women who feel stuck because I have the children, I have the family, I don't know how to manage it. I want to do something else, but I just don't know how. So stuck is relative in terms of whatever is happening in your life now that's preventing you from walking into kind of the highest or best version of yourself that you desire to. I desire to be there, but I'm stuck here and I don't know how I can get to that place.
okay. So
Mhm.
stuck because I know I felt stuck at my 9 to 5. And I always share that I was at my 9 to 5, I feel like 5 years longer than I wanted to be there because I just didn't have the tools. I didn't have the resources. I'd gotten comfortable. It was safe. I had gotten comfortable. Anytime I thought about leaving, it's like, can
Right.
I do that? Should I do that? And again, should, and we're shoulding on ourselves. Should I do that?
Ourselves.
Right? Yeah. Should I do that? So,
Yeah.
thinking about your experience in your side hustle journey, thinking about and just navigating fear, navigating anxiety, how does it manifest itself in these women, and then how do they recognize it in order to be able to do the work to overcome it?
It's a lot of times negative thoughts, it's self doubt, it's the repetition of the thoughts that says, I am not enough, I am not good enough, I don't have this is not going to work, who do you think you are, you're not pretty enough, you're not tall enough, you can't do all the things. The same thing that I told myself. And so it
Mm,
manifests itself as just those anxious thoughts that it's like, gosh, I'm just unsatisfied, I'm unfulfilled because I have these thoughts, but I'm just not able to silence the thoughts or silence those
mm,
feelings. I don't have accountability. I don't have somebody to even mirror those thoughts. Some people just don't know that they have these thoughts, kind of running through their minds over and over again. It's like on record, just on
mhm.
repeat. It's just repetition, 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 repetition. And then it keeps you just where you are because it's like, I'm not going to do that thing because of these feelings that I have. Yeah.
Yeah. And how does someone start to overcome it to make the decision? They like because you mentioned they don't sometimes they don't even realize they're having these
Mhm.
thoughts, or they don't have like for in my case, I didn't have the support, or I didn't have the tools or the resources. So how do they start to become unstuck? What do they need to do? If someone's listening right now and she's like, yeah, I do have those negative self-talk,
Yeah.
and I do have
Mhm.
those thoughts, and I do have to experience feeling stuck and that anxiety. But what does she now need to do in order to move forward, in order to, or just, you know what, just reach out to Akimi. That's
Mhm.
we're going to
Mhm.
share her details at the end of the episode. But okay, fine.
Yeah.
What do they need to do in order to then be able to take that first step in
Yeah.
overcoming it?
How to move forward. First of all, you have to acknowledge it, right? I can't change what I don't even know that I have. So we do that by you can go to therapy. Of course, you can, see me, a life coach,
Mm,
or someone who can hold you accountable. So if you've been coined as a negative Nancy, or the I'm just you just have this negative energy, or if you're feeling sad or just don't know what to do, that's a good place to start with. You know what? I may need help that's bigger than who I am, because in my own head and with these thoughts that I'm having, they're just telling me that I just can't do the things. And so I'm going to stay stuck at this position, stay stuck in my life unless I'm willing to take action. And that's another thing, is take action, whatever that action is for you. Whether it can be, I'm going to start reading some self-help books, whether
mm,
it's I'm going to see a therapist, whether it's I'm going to deal with some childhood trauma, whether it's I'm going to hire a life coach. It's kind of like, what are you willing to do to get out of the situation you are? Like, how can you empower yourself? For me, it was that place where I was like, nah, pump this. Like, this. Like, you know, I have something to offer the world. I don't like feeling inadequate. I don't like feeling this heaviness, or I don't like where I am now. I should be feeling someplace else. Nah. And I started researching. I started, joining programs and just realizing, like, wow, I really hate myself. Like, I really don't say
mm.
kind things about myself. I'm really screwed up for stuff that happened in my childhood that I don't even realize that's manifesting into my life now, you know?
Yes.
So we
Yeah.
move forward, all of that to say, just taking action and seeking help, because that's why we have to team up with other people. We're not an island. We can't do everything by ourselves.
Okay, so I love that you mentioned talking about childhood trauma. And we don't even realize how much we carry with us from that early conditioning. So one of the things I started with myself, of course, and now I help my clients identify is, do you need to validate the feelings of the 6-year old version of you, right? Or what? And then it's just always like a moment that I had with CJ. Like, I never even thought about blah, blah, blah that happened when I was a child and I carried it. And now that I'm here in this moment and this time, people don't realize how much work has to be done to undo some past experiences to get to. So is it about, for me, it was really going back to that place of shy, introverted. I don't even want anybody to see me or hear me. I was almost like people thought I was mute. Sometimes that 6-year-old version. Does a woman have to give? I'm going to say women because we're talking about women and empowering women. Does a woman
Mhm.
have to give herself permission to go back to that place? And like, how is it? Do you find that they are resistant to doing that work? Do you find that they, once you kind of bring that up, they are willing to? What is usually the journey or the experience with going back to nurturing and overcoming childhood trauma?
It's
Hmm.
scary as hell, you know, because it was a scary point of your life. And nobody wants to go back to how they felt at 6 years old. So, what I tell
Mm.
my clients is, there's a 6-year-old, 8-year-old, 10-year-old little girl who's living inside of you. And that's the girl who, a lot of times, is who in your personality and who you are. you know, whether you
Mm.
like it or not. You know, these things just don't go away at childhood. If you hate yourself when you're a child, you know, it's almost like crazy to think that as an adult you're not going to still feel those same feelings if you don't work
Mm.
to heal that inner child, you know. So, and we'll
Mhm.
see a lot of our behaviors, a lot of our triggers are right back from when I was 6 years old, 8 years old, when I was bullied, when my family said they hate me, when people left me. All of those things are looking back at you when you look in the mirror, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So it's not the resistance a lot of time. It's just it's scary for people to want to go back and
Yeah.
heal those things, you know.
Yeah.
But I always offer that safe space where it's like,
Of
look,
course.
you know, let's lock arms and do it together, because until you heal her, then
Yeah.
the things that you it's going to keep coming back up, because
Mhm.
that inadequate feeling or whatever's coming back up for you from childhood, you're just going to bring it into your business, you're going to bring it into your job, you're going to bring it into your
Yes.
relationship, you know.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
really encourage, however that looks, you know, now that's not coaching, that's more therapy, you
Yes.
know, but
Yes. Yes.
healing from those things can help you move forward, because now I'm healing from the rejection that I feared all of this time. So if I get the rejection as an adult, it won't set me back in the back seat, but I'll be able to process through it better and say, okay, they rejected me for the position, but I'm still worthy. I can still
Yes.
do wonderful things, you know.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's a journey, but it's so worth it. It really
It
is.
is. Yeah. It's icky,
Hmm.
it's scary, it's messy,
Yeah.
but
Ugly.
when it's ugly, it's ugh,
Yeah,
right? Like who wants to
yeah.
go there and
We don't
deal
want
with
to
it?
do
But
that,
it's
but
necessary. It
sometimes
really
it's
is.
necessary.
Yeah, because talking to a client, and the patterns of things that come up are that fear of judgment. I don't want people to
Yes.
judge me. What will people say? Will people support me if I put this product or service out? Are people going to expect me to succeed or fail? Is anybody going to buy from me? And
Yeah.
and they don't realize that it's probably the 6, 8, 10-year-old version of you, and how you received or didn't receive love or validation, or were accepted. So side hustle is your own thing, because now here you are, you have this full-time job, you did what you were expected to do, right? Hey, you
Right.
got the education, you got the higher education, then you got the job,
Hmm.
and you move up within your organization, or whatever, however that looks, and now you want to have your own thing. And then those
Hmm.
stories start to come up of, oh, well, I don't know if I can put myself out there like that. If can I show up authentically in this space? I don't want people to think that I'm this when I'm really this. And the stories, right? So now, as I'm having this conversation with you again, I'm like, yeah, it's all so very familiar. And I hope whoever's listening and this is resonating, they're realizing, wow, I am fearful, or I feel like I'm in this place of lack because of some past experience that I have to. And of course, yes, there's definitely a difference between therapy and coaching. And there have been times that I have said to clients, it sounds like you need to go to therapy,
Therapy.
right? And
Hmm.
I've helped them to find therapists, because I'm like, I only have certain tools. I can be here to support you and hold space. But if you really need to unpack that, right? And it's okay to give yourself permission to do that healing. So what is our biggest message right now to a woman who she's in the 9 to 5, she wants to start the side hustle, or maybe she started it and she's feeling stuck? What does she need to do in order to continue successfully in her side hustle journey right now? And everything that we've said is just, we're opening up all kinds of wounds for her, right? And she's like, oh,
Yeah.
this is resonating with me.
Yeah.
What is that thing that she now needs to do in order to continue successfully in her side hustle journey?
Probably contrary to what everybody else would believe, but one thing that I do religiously every day is connect to that spirituality, that higher power,
Mm,
through meditation. So go within. Go within.
mm,
A lot of times we're seeking to go without, you know, let me do this, which is great at times if you're doing the right things, but go within. What is it that's resonating with you? What is it that's hitting home? Is it that I need to go to therapy, that I have some wounds, that, what, I do have negative thoughts? Maybe I do need to see a coach. Go within and ask yourself, what is it that I'm missing? What is it that I desire to do or be that I'm not doing right now because I'm afraid, or I
Mm.
have all of these feelings, or these negative thoughts keep coming back? What is it? Really write that down and then ask yourself, okay, now what do I need to do? you
Yeah.
know do I need to go to my pastor? Do I need to go to a therapist? Do I need to go to a life coach? Do I need to, so do I want to go on a personal development journey? Because everybody's road looks different. So
Yeah.
what action are you willing to take to get the results that you want once you
Yeah.
go in? Because every
Yes.
time you ask, although sometimes, in the noisy world, the divine, God, whatever you believe in may seem so far away, it's right here. It's in our heart. It's in our heartbeat. It's surrounding
Mm.
us.
Mm.
It's there. We just have to
Yeah.
quiet the noise in order to get inside to see what is it that's coming up. What is it
Yeah.
that I need to, because it's there. We just have to silence the noise. So that's the
Mm.
first thing. Go within and ask yourself, what is it that I need? And then
Yeah.
take the action.
Yeah. And I love say that you said, what is the action that I need to take?
Yes.
What do I need to do? Because feeling stuck does mean you don't do anything, or you feel like you can do something, or you're doing something and you're not getting the results that you hope for, or you expected, but you realize you might just be doing the wrong thing, which is why for me I always talk about alignment and making sure the goals that you set, they fit into your life and they're aligned with your values, your beliefs, what you
Yeah.
want to do. Because we can set the wrong goals, we can do the thing that we are expected to do because we've always done what we are expected to do. So now it's about challenging the status quo and going
Right.
within, right?
Yeah.
And making yourself a priority, I think, is the hardest thing for a lot of women, is put yourself first and
Mhm.
say, you know what, like spend some time with yourself so you
Mhm.
can give yourself the permission to put
Yes.
yourself
To
first
put
and to
yourself
have
first.
your thing, right? Oh, I
Mhm.
can, hmm,
Look, we can go on forever.
girl, how much time you got?
I get it. Right. Yeah.
Right? It's,
Yeah.
this is why we are here to serve, and we are very, and why we connected is because we are
Mhm.
very heart centered, very
Yeah.
spiritual beings, but we have done the work. And I can truthfully say, and my audience knows, that I am always very honest, very transparent. It has been very icky. It has been very, very scary. It has been very, very ugly at some parts. But the one thing I know, while I did do that self work, I got the therapy, I got
Yes.
the coach, I
Yeah.
got the support, I gave
My
myself the permission. I said, I don't have all the tools. I don't
Mhm.
have everything that I need to be the CJ that shows up for the clients, that is able to show up as my authentic, awkward, quirky, purple lipstick wearing self online, right?
Yeah.
I did the work. So
Yeah.
if you are watching or listening and you're feeling stuck, you're feeling scared, you're feeling anxious, first of all, that's okay. We are validating your feelings. You can feel that way, but what do you want to do? How do you want to feel? What does success mean or look like to you and for you? And if you don't have the tools, that's okay, but it's okay to reach out, to make yourself a priority, and to reach out to someone to get that support. And on that note, what do you, Akemi-Joi, what are you working on? What do you have coming up? What do women need to look out for from you?
Yes. So my gift to the world is my meditations, my energizers, and my pep talk. And that is on my YouTube page, Soulful Sister Sanctuary, where I do prayers, I do meditation pep talks, and I record them. So if you're struggling with negative thoughts, I have a pep talk on there that kind of guides you and reminds you of some of the things that the negative thoughts won't tell you.
Mm,
So, and if for the people who believe in prayer, the power of prayer, I have prayers on there that you can pray about some issues, that if you're feeling stuck or you're feeling anxious or all the things. So that's my gift to the world. Is I love
mm,
doing that. I love my meditation, and I love sharing it with people. So again, that's on YouTube, Soulful Sister Sanctuary, and it's Soulful Sister Sanctuary at gmail.com is kind of where my dwelling. Besides, when I'm not coaching, that's
mm.
what I'm doing.
Okay. And everything, of course, will be linked in the description so that people just can click and pop right over and to connect with you. This has been a beautiful conversation. Now I want to talk about like meditation, but of course, okay, we gotta go. Okay, we're gonna have a part two. But before I absolutely positively let you go,
Yes.
do
Yes.
you have a nugget to share with the audience today?
Yes. The best version of yourself is on the other side of your fears. Your
Mm,
happiness, your purpose, all of that is on the other side of your fears. So you are enough, no matter what nobody else in the world tells you, no matter what dad, mom, the cat, lamppost, all little people told you. You're enough just in who you are. And you are so worthy and deserving of all the wonderful things that life has to offer if you're willing to do the work. So do it. Do it afraid, do it scared, do it shaking in your boots, because that was my journey. I did it. The person who you see here is not who I was a few years ago, because
mm,
CJ, there's no way I'd have been on here talking to anybody. you know
mhm,
I was just, like I said, I didn't love myself. I didn't like my voice. I didn't like my face. I was too this, I was too that. Oh my God, look at my neck. All of those things would come
mm,
up. But it wasn't until I did my work, overcame my fears, gave myself permission, that I began to blossom and life became so much more easier. So, a
yeah,
long winded way of saying, just do it.
just do it.
You're validated, but it's time today.
Yeah, and do it scared. Thank you so much, Akemi-Joi, for lighting up my podcast with your energy and for sharing so candidly with me and the audience today. I appreciate you for being here, and I can't wait to see what else you do. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.